Tonight we are doing my 2020 Extra Life Incentive, which is a wholesome stream, the story of my engagement. Now, the engagement started, believe it or not, with me being quite nasty and quite mean. I'm sure everyone in the VOT channel can't believe that.
I mean, you're usually really nice. You're just a bit, like, sexually aggressive.
Gross.
You're just a bit touchy.
I'm just a bit I can't help myself. What can I say? But basically, the run up to this, the timescale where we were, me and Wendy had just bought our first house together. The house was a house that needed renovation, much like this one. You see the theme. We're just gluttons for punishment. And we were shopping one day in Norwich, which is a city not far from us. And Wendy went to a jewellery shop. And she went to the window and she was like, "Oh, look at the diamond rings in there." And we've been going out for like 7 years at this stage. So I was starting to get hassle from the parents and everyone else. And I had got a plan. But Wendy wasn't allowed to know the plan. So I thought I would double down and be super harsh. So I was like, "We've just bought a house. We haven't got the kind of money to even be thinking about that kind of stuff. I can't believe you put that kind of pressure on me and say that I need to be getting a wedding ring. I mean, that's not what we need to be thinking about right now, Wendy. That's just not good enough." And Wendy was like, "Oh my God, I know, I agree. We haven't got a lot of money at the moment. Like, I'm sorry, I won't bring it up again for a little while. I understand. However..."
Wow, Rob.
I know, but there's a double turn on this, Lynchy. There's a double turn. Because what Wendy didn't know is for the prior 3 years, I have been cutting off a little bit of my paycheck and putting it into a separate account so I could enact this plan that I had. So I got to the point where I got enough money. I'd had that saved up. I kept it away from all the house fundage. And I was like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a surprise holiday for the engagement. And one of the places me and Wendy always spoke about was going to Rome. Because my family are originally Italian. Rome, beautiful architecturally. And it just seemed like a really nice place. And I wanted the engagement to be kind of like a grand thing, just to be like, hell yeah, we're getting engaged, but in Rome. So I saved up this money and I had a plan. Now we can flick over the slides. I told Wendy that we were going to Cornwall. Now, as you can see, Cornwall and Rome, a little bit of a distance. Cornwall. Romantic Cornwall. No, Wendy was just like, yeah, let's go to Cornwall. And I historically do all the driving for our holidays when we go away. So I said, right, to give me a little bit of relaxation for when we go on holiday, let's be old people and let's book a coach holiday. And welcome, Logicoma. Let's book a coach holiday. And that can mean I don't have to drive. But obviously in my head I was like, that'll give me leeway to get the Rome plan rolling. Because it meant that I could do this. I made a fake coach document to basically in line with all the stuff you're not allowed to bring on a plane. And was like, Wendy, I've booked the coach, but they've sent me this really strict thing. And you can see on there, now I think it's around here somewhere, there is do not bring any chainsaws on the coach. And Wendy's like, why do they bring chainsaws? And I was like, well, obviously there's been some person here that's broken that rule. Obviously there's a chainsaw on the plane at one stage. So,
Jesus Christ, no cornrows.
Just like you have a John Madden red circle.
I have, and look, there you go. There's the Eagle coaches. That's the.
There they are, right there.
There they are.
Sake, Rob.
I have a lot of stuff. I have a lot of stuff to point out here. Honestly, Pastry, this is gonna get a lot worse before it gets better.
I'm surprised you managed to spell it all correctly.
Hey, Lynchy, when I put my mind to something, I am determined. And this was a plan that was 3 years in the making. I was like, I'm not going to fuck this up. So gave her that, and in fairness, when he went, yeah, it's fine, just tell me what I'm allowed to take, and I was like, no, fucking read it, because I'd sat there and wrote this thing, and I was like, we're gonna read this together. Let's go through it. And we went through this thing, and Wendy's like, okay, fine. And now Wendy is a very trusting person, bless her, and around Cornwall, not John Madden, there we go. Around here, there is a place called the Isle of Wight. And I said to Wendy, well, the Isle of Wight, you can get a ferry over there from and the coach will go to the Isle of Wight. But because you have to cross water, it's like a principality. You have to take your passport. So that's my way of getting Wendy to bring her passport so we could go on the plane. Now, this was fun. Wendy was like, yeah, okay. And I was like,
tell me when you believe that.
At the time, I think we were just so stressed from having to try and renovate the house. She was just like, sure, I will take my passport, no chainsaws and whatever, as long as I get a holiday.
My passport and no chainsaws.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I trust you, Rob. I trust you.
Exactly.
One of the things she was adamant about. I want to take my chainsaw down.
yeah, exactly.
She's trying to think how we can further exploit this weakness of Wendy's. She's just this naive.
Well, in fairness, the person who sent me the Ring Raiders just sent Wendy a message and was like, send us your address. And she was like, there you go. I'm like, sure.
Just like you with my address.
And they only speak Italian down in Cornwall, so you're going to have to take a few night classes.
Yeah, exactly. So I said to her this, and she was like, yeah, fine. However, a few weeks down the line, Wendy's parents came round, because they'd been helping out on the renovation of the house, and they sat down and were talking to us about various bits and pieces, and the holiday came up. Hey, Logicoma. And woo! And Wendy's dad was like, passport for the Isle of Wight? What are you talking about? And I'm like, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's okay. And he's like, no, you don't. You don't have to do that. That's daft. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I just kind of gleaned over it. So
slapped him.
Yeah.
Wendy's dad, no.
I kind of gleaned over it and kind of ushered them out of the house. But in a polite way of just kind of like, we need to get on, there's a lot of stuff to be done, the renovation won't get itself done, off you go. And when they left, I then was like, Wendy, one of my friends, he needs a cupboard moving up some stairs. I'm just going to pop out for 25 minutes or so and get this cupboard moved, and then I'll come back. And she was like, yeah, sure. And in that time, I popped round to Wendy's parents. Now, I was going to do this a little bit closer at the time, but they forced my hand. So I popped round there, and I came in, and I was very serious with Wendy's parents, which they were a bit caught off guard. I was like, hello, I need to talk to you both. Can you both sit down and talk to me around the dining room table? And they were like, oh shit. And afterwards, they told me what they thought had happened. They thought that the stress of renovating the house and moving in with Wendy had meant we were going to break up. And they were like, oh no, this is going to be really difficult. And they were going to have me go like, yeah, well, I'm going. Sorry.
Were they smiling?
No, they honestly.
They opened the door for you with red carpet going, okay, bye, see you.
Honestly, they both looked so sad. They were just like, oh God. And then I sat down and I said, I'm gonna take Wendy to Rome, not Cornwall, and I'm gonna propose. And Wendy's mum went absolutely mental and just kind of tried to crush my head and was just like cuddling me and stuff. And basically they were like, great, that's fine. And Wendy's dad, good on him, rang up Wendy and was like, I've checked. Apparently you do need to take a passport to the Isle of Wight. For sure. And I'm like, yes! This is what
guy
I'm
with a
marrying
load of
into.
pistols says so.
Yeah. Eagles of Bristol say so. Long chainsaws.
Eagle coaches, take your passport. So there they are. So that was in line, and I was like, right, sure, that's all sorted. Got everything sorted. Now the next thing is, I then had to try and get us to the airport without Wendy suspecting anything, and I basically faux messed up. I said, "Oh, Wendy, sorry, what an idiot! Instead of booking the coach trip to pick up from King's Lynn, I've made it pick up from Stansted, because there are coaches that leave from Stansted for various tours and stuff." And she was like, "You fucking idiot!" And I'm like, "Oh."
I mean, that's fair.
And I couldn't tell her. I couldn't tell her what was going on. I was just like, "Oh, okay, I'm sorry." And she's like, "No, how did you manage to do that? London and Kingston. How have you even?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry."
She's already angry as well. That's going, Rob, why? Why did you do this?
Your plan was going to be incredibly simple. Where you're like, Wendy, what I've done here is I've accidentally booked us a flight to Rome.
Yeah. No, that would have been easier. but anyway, I took the brunt of Wendy's anger for literally like 2 or 3 days. That she just periodically like, "I can't believe you've done this." And I'm like, "Oh, sorry, yeah." And I couldn't just be like, "Please, you don't know how good this is going to be. Give me a chance." And so I was like, "It's okay. I've got one of my friends, ironically enough, a person who the stream knows is my dodgy accountant, my friend Mike, to give me a lift." And I was like, "He's going to give us a lift to the coach and he'll pick us up." And she was like, "Oh, well, if he's happy, that's okay then. Okay, I guess I'll let that one slide." Well, okay, thanks. I appreciate that. So, now we move to a little video. So this little video is basically she fell asleep in the car on the way up there, in the back of the dodgy accountant's car, and she fell asleep till we nearly got to Stansted, and I woke her up to tell her what was going on. So this is that video.
Ooh.
Now we're about 10 miles away. I've got to come clean with something to you. We're not going to Cornwall. We're not going to Cornwall. I mean, we're not going to Cornwall. We're going to Rome.
There's also a brilliant moment where you can see Wendy's nostrils notably flare when she actually realises I'm not lying.
Yeah, we are. I booked tickets. We're now on the way to Stansted.
No, we're not.
Circle of Trust. Yes, we are.
I don't believe you.
Circle of Trust. We are going to Rome.
I haven't bought clothes for Rome.
Yes, you have.
What?
Wendy will be fine. And our hotel is not even too far from the Colosseum.
Are you joking?
No, I'm being serious.
He's been
We're
dead
going on an
serious.
airplane.
Yeah, we're going on an airplane. That's why I've been so funny about all the stuff we're packing. And we don't need a passport to go to the Isle of Wight, but we do definitely need a passport to go to Rome.
Oh my god, that's why you asked me last night.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
No passports required at the Isle of Wight.
I've been telling everybody we're making it.
I know, we'll have to apologise to Lorna because we can't get her any fudge.
Oh no! I can't have a Cornish pasty.
No.
Oh my god! No, they have cream teas.
Oh, they might do. The one thing I haven't been lying about, we've definitely got a breakfast buffet.
I can't believe we're going to Rome.
No.
We're going to an airport.
Yep. Look, that's dead.
Holy shit.
Indeed.
That's so
Indeed.
sweet.
I love
See?
that her first response was, I haven't bought clothes for Rome.
I know, right? I was trying my damnedest, and she was like, "I brought clothes." That's how dare you? Oh god! But yeah, there were so many things, and also so many of our friends and her parents nearly gave the game away because say her parents turned up at her work and were like, "We're just here to wish you well before you go to Cornwall." And we're like, please. All my friends, we like went to a party a couple of nights beforehand, and they were all like, "Enjoy Cornwall, have a good time." And a lot of my my friends, there's a group of 6 of my friends that we've been friends since high school, and I ended up telling them at a wedding that I got horrifically drunk at, and then obviously at that party after that they were like, "Enjoy Cornwall, Wendy, have a good time." And I'm like, "Oh, please." But that went off without a hitch. Wendy didn't know, as you can see, and we were on our way. Now, as you can see, there we are. We're on the plane. Let's John Madden this. You can see Wendy's happy, and look, you can see here, notably, this will be important later on. Now, in my eyes, you can see there is hope. And there is a smile that shows I'm gonna survive. This is gonna go okay. I planned
a little
enough.
trepidation, but
Thank you for
mostly
the
hope.
play-by-play.
Honestly, this is gonna be necessary later on, Pastry, because honestly, this shit just went. So,
Oh no.
also an initial thing that Wendy did is my lucky number is 9, so I wanted to propose on the 9th of the 9th. However, Wendy booked her holiday wrong, so I had to rebook the entire holiday for the 1st of the 9th. But that actually turned out to be really good in fairness, because that, if we had have done it on the 9th of the 9th, the Icelandic volcano would have cancelled our flights. So,
That
fair
sure
play.
doesn't sound lucky to me.
We missed the old Icelandic volcano. Yeah, we were very lucky.
The 9th wasn't lucky. That's not true.
No, the 9th was not lucky. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
From volcano ash.
Yeah, so we ducked that one, and we went over on the 31st of the 8th. So I was like, I'm gonna propose on the 1st of the 9th. That'll be the one. So we got on the plane, we flew over, and oh god, right. So this guy, Italian taxi driver who just did not want to live. Also, he had a name when we got off the thing. He misspelled Benifer, and he was like Binfi, and I'm like, no, it's Benifer. Thank you. Got in the taxi, and then he was just driving at oncoming traffic and just swerving between things. And at one point he picked out the plug from his seatbelt and went, "Look, I have this. If I plug it into the thing, it stops the alarm on the car from beeping."
He sounds like a typical Italian driver. I don't know why you're complaining, Rob.
Yeah, but we were not braced for this, Lynchy. I was just like, I'm happy, we've been on a plane. Oh my god, we're gonna die before we get to the hotel. But
What are you mentalist?
indeed, there's a couple of quick snaps. I was like, oh, look at that. There's the Arc de Triomphe, the Colosseum. Wendy was a little bit excited, as you can see. And we got in the room. I was pleased. I was just like, here we go. It's happened. The hotel was literally, you could look out of that window and see the Colosseum. I was like, this is the one. I've got it.
Yes, he did in fact say Arc de Triomphe.
Wait, all right. What is it actually called there?
Because that Italian driver took you some fucking places, Rob.
It's
swung through Paris on the way.
Are you sure you fuck up and get a flight to Paris by accident?
Yeah,
It is a triumphal arc, but
Indeed.
it could be any one of a number of them, like the Ark of Janus or Titus?
It is the one of Constantine the 14th, I believe.
It's the Ark
Arch
of
of Constantine.
George
There you go.
Indeed. Ark of Constantine. There we go. But, so, we got there. I was at the room. I was happy. And in my head, on the way there, I had two places where we could... There's a lovely picture of Wendy with her eyes closed. That's a theme as well. I was like, there's two places where I want to propose. There's two locations that I can potentially do this. Number one is the Trevi Fountain. And number two is the Colosseum. Colosseum, like, quintessentially kind of like... It's what building you see if you think of Rome, really, for quite a lot of people. So I was like, I could do it there. But the Trevi Fountain is more traditionally like the marriage fountain. There's a lot of things there. And I'd even got like a sick plan in place where I was like, right, Wendy, apparently what you meant to do is you meant to close your eyes and throw the coin over your shoulder and then wish for what you want. And my plan was, while she had her eyes closed, she was doing it, I was going to be down on one knee. Boom. Happy days. So I'd laid the foundation for that, told her all that kind of stuff. Like, this is going to work. However, that meant I was like, well, we don't need the Colosseum in the bank of places to go. So we carried on out. We went to the Colosseum. There we are. Quite excited to see the Colosseum.
Why does Wendy look
Really
so
heckin' honkin' excited.
She's honking
like,
excited, but
I'm
eyes
gonna-
closed.
Yeah, eyes closed. I'm gonna bite that Colosseum. I'm gonna bite
She
it
was.
with my
It was more.
teeth.
It was more. She wanted to bite the great amount of gelato stands that were around. So
wish.
yeah. Oh, gelato was amazing. Yeah, for sure. So we carried on. We went to the Colosseum. It's a very impressive place. It's very nice, and there's so many other places around it. You don't realise that there's the Forum. You've got Colosseum, then you've got the Triumphal Arch, and then you've got the Palace of Rome, that are all in immediate walking distance. So we got into the Colosseum and we had a look around, and I didn't have the ring with me either. So I was like, well, I don't need the ring. I'm not going to propose here, so I'm going to propose tomorrow at the Trevi Fountain. So we went around the tour. It was lovely. But then we got to here, because we finished the Colosseum tour and they went for an extra €5. We'll take you into the palace that's next to the Colosseum, and you can have a tour around there as well. We were like, yeah, sure. We'll tack that on to the end. But when you leave the Colosseum, you've left the Colosseum. That's it. You're not going back in. So we left the Colosseum. We went into this palace. And the tour guide, this man there, I will just John Madden him, there you go. That man there in the Chelsea shirt, who was very Italian but maintained he was a Chelsea fan.
Boo, Chelsea. Boo.
Indeed. Well,
Ooh,
yeah.
teams or whatever.
In fairness, I wasn't a huge fan of this guy anyway. For one specific fact, because he was going round there. No, he was going round, and he was like, "This is the Palace of Rome. It's a bit of a ruin, but it looks better than the Trevi Fountain right now." And I was like,
No.
"I'm sorry, what?" And he went,
Oh no.
"Oh yes, the Trevi Fountain is being renovated. It's been drained. It's covered in scaffolding. It looks terrible." And I was like, "Huh? What?"
Absolutely shit
no.
place to propose to your wife.
Yeah, pretty much. He said that. And the best thing about this is, directly after he said that, Wendy said, "Let's get a selfie." And this is why I've been doing the John Madden pastry, because this is the selfie directly afterwards.
Oh
We roll angry face.
Look at this. Look at this. That is pure pain and not understanding what I'm going to do. Everything's gone. I'm just dead inside. I'm just like, I can't.
Let's do it in the gym.
Yeah, exactly. I was just like, I have no idea what I'm going to do. I have no idea where I'm going to go with this. All my plans are dead, because if I go like, "Can we go back in the Colosseum tomorrow?" When he'd be like, "No, get fucked." I'm like, oh. So I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I am absolutely just broken. So let's get away from that picture. Oh, sad times. The guide yet again stood there with the forum in the background, and he said, "Does anyone want to go on a tour of the Vatican tomorrow?" And literally, I just had a wedge of cash and was like, "Yep, take us somewhere nice." And in my head, I had no plans of where I was going to go. I had no idea what I was going to do, and I just wasn't thinking. I was just like, "Take my money, take me somewhere nice. I will make this work." And when he was like, "He hasn't even told us how much it is," I was like, "I don't care. I just take me where I need to be." So the guy booked us in. We got booked in to go to the Vatican. I had a very stressful evening trying to look for places. Now, I'd seen the Vatican on films and various other bits and pieces. I know there's going to be some beautiful places there. Maybe I can find a place to propose. However, there was a caveat. I didn't really want to propose in a church because we were going to get married in a church, and it kind of felt like doubling up. That, and I just wanted to do it somewhere not a church. So we had a little wander round after we bought the Vatican tickets. We went to the forum. We got some gelato. The gelato was great. Wendy with chocolate, me with pistachio. It was so good. Also, you can still see that semi-smile, dead inside.
You've got ice cream.
I have ice cream, but my life is over.
That's the one. Oh. That's the one. Can I
just point out real quick, Rob, by the way, just in case you're wondering in the chat, every so often Wendy is giving colour commentary. Apparently, her eyes are just small when she's happy, she said.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay to have small eyes.
That's why I was laughing, because I read that comment. I was probably like, "No, Rob's talking. Must not laugh."
Well, thank you. But yeah, no, that is very true. Whenever Wendy smiles, she's like, it's very cute. So we had the gelato. Not did Wendy know that I was actually just desperately trying to just like recoup and rally. So the next day we forward to the Vatican. It's 25 degrees and I am wearing a Minnesota Vikings fake leather jacket because I needed to cover the fact that the ring box was in my pocket. Lynchy.
Yeah, but there's so many other things you could have brought, Rob. So I'm going to Rome in like summer. Let's bring a leather coat.
But the thing is, I had to wear something that Wendy would know is predominantly mine. I couldn't be like, "Hey Wendy, I'm just wearing these hammer pants for no reason."
I mean, at this point, she believed you when you told her you needed a passport for Isle of Wight and no chainsaws. So I feel you could have got away with it.
Okay, maybe I just didn't want to get engaged in hammer pants. But
Anyway, yeah, continue on your story.
Yeah, so I was wearing this. I was very warm, but and also when he was like, "You getting dressed up like fairly tidily," and I'm like, "Yeah," and she's like, "Don't you want to just put some shorts on?" I'm like, "No. I'll clean jeans and my shirt and this leather jacket." Put the ring in my pocket and we set off for the Vatican. We got to the Vatican and John Madden, this lady had the flag. She was our tour guide, and if you ever go to the Vatican, I would say go and get a tour guide because the place is monstrous, and it's not just like, "Oh, pop into a museum and spend the day there and you can see everything." No, you could spend weeks there and just be fully lost. This lady was running us around being like, "There's Emperor Nero's bath, there's so-and-so, there's so-and-so, there's so-and-so," and we were just like drifting through the room, like seeing all this magical stuff, and we're like, "Sure, fine, happy days, let's carry on moving." So there's a little map of the Vatican that you can see that we saw there, and there, interestingly, a photo I took that I thought was quite interesting. I took a photo of Emperor Hadrian.
Emperor Potato.
Emperor Potato.
Emperor Angry Potato.
But so I took this photo. There's a photo of Wendy in I think this is the maps room, but there was a hell of a lot to see. As you can see, it's a very pretty place, but also we were crammed in. There was a hell of a lot of people there, as is, I'm assuming, every day. Oh right, we'll get to that. So we went through there, And then we went to the Sistine Chapel. It was beautiful. We had a look at the Sistine Chapel. Church, obviously, so I was like, this is out, can't do it in a church. And I was like, I could do it on St. Paul's Square. St. Peter's Square, sorry. St. Paul's is England. We can do this in St. Paul's Square. I can propose that. I've seen it on various films. It looks lovely. We came out of the Sistine Chapel and the bright Italian sunlight hit my eyes, and as it came into focus, what did I see? A fucking area full of shit plastic chairs. Because the lady I was like, why is there a load of plastic chairs out? And he go, oh, the new Pope, he's so wonderful. He does a speak twice a week. We just leave the chairs all over the square. I'm like, oh, great.
Oh, no.
Good. Thanks, Pope Friendly. And it was as the Pope had been brought in, and there was just pictures of him everywhere, like. And I was like, yeah, fucking cheers. Cheers, Pope Friendly. Thanks very much, mate. Really appreciate that one. So that plan was scuppered, and I was nearly out of the Vatican. Like, so at the end, John Madden, at the end here, once you get to the end there, that's off the Vatican. You're out of there, and that's it. So we done the touristy thing. We posted some stuff at the Vatican. As you can see, Wendy very happy.
I posted dog shit.
Yeah. So we then went in St. Paul's, and had a look around in there. It's a church, so I was like, this is off. And it's in such a large scale, it almost felt kind of grotesque to do something like that in there. So I was like, let's get out of there, and let's go and try and find a place to stand. Now, this photo looks like quite an innocuous photo, but it tells a very brutal tale.
Oh no!
So this area here, I found where there was no chairs. There was some beautiful like pillars. There was the statues. There was a little fountain behind us. I was like, this is the spot. I could do it here. It's not exactly what I planned, but I could do it. And I was determined that I could get a photo of us, have him, like, get him engaged. And I was looking around, and I was like, Wendy, let's get a photo of us together. And Wendy was like, no, don't. I'm like, what? So don't. Someone will steal your phone. I'm like, oh, no one will steal my phone. And if they do, I'll catch them and I'll take them down. And she was like, I'm not happy about this, but fine. I'm like, okay, sure. Okay. So I found this guy with an American flag on his backpack. And I was like, boom, there you go. And I was like, excuse me, mate. And he's like, hey, yeah. And I'm like, can you take a photo of me and my girlfriend? And he's like, oh yeah, sure, buddy, I'll do that. And Wendy wandered off, and I said, like, just go and stand there. And she's like, okay. And I said to him, I was like, mate, I'm going to propose to my girlfriend. Can you make sure you take loads of photos? He's like, oh my God, you're going to propose now? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to propose now. I was like, sure, buddy, yeah, okay, I got this. And I'm like, yeah, brilliant, good. Exuberant American, he's going to do a good job, come on. So, stood beside Wendy, ready and poised, put my hand in my pocket to get the ring out. And he went, I can't see you because of the light. The sun's in the wrong place. And I was like, oh God. And you can see, John Madden, that from the state of the shadows, the sun was literally right up behind us. And I hadn't really thought about it because I was just desperately trying to propose. I just needed this burden off me, and it just wasn't working out. And I went back, I put the ring back in my pocket and went back to him to have a look. And I was like, oh yeah, it is too bright. And Wendy just went, oh, this is silly. Anyway, let's go and have some dinner. And then just wandered off.
Wendy, no.
I was like, please.
Oh, no.
Oh God. And before I could even catch up with her, she'd found a random guy who was around touting with menus, who was like, coming to this restaurant. And when he was like, yeah, we're going to this restaurant, come on. And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Did she propose to him?
No, she didn't. She didn't.
Go, here's my phone. Take a picture. You trustworthy stranger.
Yeah. It was.
It's timing, Wendy.
Wendy, why?
It was.
That
It
dude
was
must
rough.
be like haunted. Just like, did they ever get married?
No, well, that's the thing. He literally handed my phone back to me as I ran off to Wendy, and he was like, "Hey, buddy," and I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Good luck. You're gonna need it." And I'm like, "Cheers, thank you." Oh, good. Oh, good. And we had a meal. There's the meal. Wendy got a big pizza. I got a seafood risotto, which was gorgeous.
So good.
Oh, it was so good pastry. It was. However, there's something else on here. So you can see Wendy got a Coke because it was about 11 o'clock. I got a bottle of white wine, and literally I was just like, I can't. The stress is so much. I can't. I just need some wine in my life. And the guy came over and he's like, "Oh, do you want any drinks with your meal?" And I was like, and when he was like, "Yeah, I'll have a Coke," and I'm like, "I'll have a bottle of white wine, please." And when he was like, "What? It's like 11 o'clock," and I'm like, "Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's how they do it in Italy. They just have a bottle of white wine for mid lunch." And she was
Rob,
like,
there is
"Really?"
There's a little bit of a look on Wendy's face of like, why do you look like angry and dead inside across the table?
yeah, there is.
Why-
That just kind of like.
Why are you
what
like drink a bottle of
you,
wine and look dead?
What? There's actually there's a different reason. There's a different reason why she's pulling that face, and that is because she wanted a beautiful and romantic meal in Rome. And what she got was me chinning wine as quickly as possible with a map open, frantically searching for somewhere I could propose, somewhere that would fit my bill and somewhere that would be as good as where I had planned. And I was like, oh my god, I need to find somewhere. And I was looking around and I was like, I just need something. And I was like, wait, I found it. The Casa d'Angelo. Castle of the Angels. I'm like, Wendy, can we go to the Casa d'Angelo? And she went, no. I was like, what? She's like, my feet hurt, I want to go back to the room. I'm like, oh, please, can we go to the Casa d'Angelo? There's a metro station right near it. We could get the metro back to the room afterwards. She's like, okay, we can go to the Casa d'Angelo. Now, I've seen the Casa d'Angelo on various films again, and I was like, yeah, it looks nice. Now, John Madden, unfortunately, the weather had started to turn, so it started to drizzle, which was great. It added to everything. I was fine with the wine. I had no amount of wine was going to get me drunk at this stage, and I was too tense.
I know that feeling. It's a horrible feeling.
Indeed. So I was just like, maybe the Casa d'Angelo can be the one. Now, we got round the corner, John Madden, and there's two issues. At the front of the Casa d'Angelo, where you might do it, there were two massive posters for an amateur dramatic society that looked very cheap and not very nice. And there was a shanty market set up round the bottom. And I was like, great. That's good. That'll make the picture look nice. Starting to feel like this isn't the place. I'm like, maybe we can find a place. Now, we got a photo there, and this photo again tells another story because I asked an Italian man to take a photo of us, and I'm pretty sure. Now he said far from Napoli, which is apparently fuck off to Naples.
Barpanada,
yeah. But basically, he just basically said like fuck off, and I was like, oh. And it started to rain, and I was like, I can't. This is not the time. I can't do this. I can't do this here. It's not right. I've got better plans than this. And I was like, I cannot. Like, I could propose in any hotel room anywhere. I need to find a place that's not. I could have done it in a restaurant at home. I could have done it in a hotel room at home. I need to find somewhere iconic. And I was looking for this place, and I was like, okay, it's raining, this isn't the place. Looking at the map again, heading towards the metro, and I went, wait, Wendy, the Pantheon is not too far away from here. Can we go to the Pantheon? And she went, no. I'm like,
Wendy's like, no. No.
Yeah.
I want wine.
At this stage, I was starting to think, like, maybe she knew what was going on and she was just trying to fuck me up. or maybe she just didn't want to get engaged. She was just like, no, this is all because of that time outside the jewellery shop in Norwich. But no, it wasn't. Basically, Wendy said, like, my feet hurt, want to go back to the room. Okay. No. I tell you what, Wendy. And Assassin's Creed saved me here. I have played Assassin's Creed enough recently to know the maps. I could get us to the Pantheon in about 5 minutes. I promise. And she was like,
you start scaling a wall.
Yeah, exactly. Picking up feathers off the...
They dive in some hay.
Yeah,
roll
exactly.
around in the hay and then get stuck.
Pull my hood
and
down.
And get shot by guards.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. So I was like, I could get us there. And she's like, no, I still don't really fancy it. I'm like, please, come on. I will buy you another gelato. Because I'd previously put like a stop to the gelatos because she'd already had like 3 in the day. Because there's gelato stands everywhere. And I was like,
I feel that way.
Let's just pause on the gelato because they're not cheap. And she's like, yeah, okay. Fine. So I said, we can have another gelato if we go. And she's like, 5 minutes? And I'm like, yeah. Promise. Then we're done. And I was also giving her, like, because I'm an architect, I'm not a nerdy fact about the Pantheon. So I was like, oh, come on, Wendy. It was like, it was built by Emperor Hadrian. It was one of the largest domes for like 2,000 years. They used pumice in the concrete to make it lighter so the roof didn't fall down. Yeah, they put, in the concrete, it was like full concrete at the bottom of the dome, and then they made it thinner as it went up, and they put pumice mixed into the concrete to make it lighter as they got up to the top to make it structurally sound. So I gave her all these facts. I was like, it's the burial place of Raphael the painter. There's so many things there. We need
Ninja Turtle.
Exactly. I was like, your favourite Ninja Turtle's buried there. And I was like, come on, Wendy. Like, we've got to go. And in my mind, I was like, this is my last ditch opportunity to get this. And she was like, if we get another gelato, I'll go. I'm like, okay. And literally weaved through all these random like little alleyways and stuff because like when he's like the map says go here, I'm like, no, trust me, Assassin's Creed. Like pushed through this little kind of like rubbish alleyway, stepped over a moped, and
Kill a man.
we get through the next area. Oh, and we're now on to slideshow 2, and the Pantheon. We're there.
There it is.
Boom, there it is. And I found my spot. I was like, there. That's where I'm going to do it. In front of the fountain with the Pantheon in the background. This is going to work. Unfortunately, Wendy ran off ahead of me and got inside. Now, the problem is, the Pantheon's a church. So I was like, okay. So I gave Wendy the quickest tour of the Pantheon that you have ever seen. I was literally like, roof, Raphael, painter, ceiling, walls, let's go. And she was like, no. You said that you wanted to come and see this place. You said you were exciting, like, this is the best thing that I'm ever going to see, and I should see it all inside. And I'm like, yeah, I did say that. Yeah, I did, yeah. And she was like,
yourself.
I did. And she was like, come on, we're going to sit down. My feet hurt anyway. We're going to sit down and enjoy ourselves in here. And we saw some of it. It was beautiful. We looked at the roof. It was lovely. It is a beautiful building if you get a chance to go. It's Raphael the painter. It's good to see. And there's me. There's...
Oh my god!
You're just like, why, Wendy, why?
I'm just like, kill me. I'm ready to die. I can't cope with life anymore. I just need to...
He's already
just
dead.
so happy in the bin. I'm gone. And
the hangover's kicking in.
Yeah, exactly. I need more wine.
Wine, please.
Another bottle of wine, please.
Yeah, exactly. I was just in the pantheon. Wine? Anyone got any wine? So she sat there for like, I say 15, 20 minutes with just me like, can we go outside yet? Can we please go outside? She's like, nope. We're going to sit and enjoy ourselves. Okay, sure. What a great time we're having. This is so nice. And eventually, we got outside. And I was stood by that fountain, looking around. The rain started to spit again, and I was like, oh, here we go. And a man walked up behind me, and he tapped me on the shoulder. And he was sent. And one of the reasons why I actually wanted to record this story is this guy, because this guy does not know how much he meant to me at that specific moment in my lifetime. And he was only there for about 4 or 5 minutes, but dear God, I want to buy him a drink or 10. Indeed, but he tapped me on the shoulder.
He was sent by the Pope.
Maybe, but he tapped me on the shoulder and he's like, my friend, I am a Brazilian, but I speak English. I take a photo of you if you take a photo of me. And I'm like, yeah, please, okay, great. And I took
yours got a lot more pressure, mate.
And I took the wobbliest, panickiest photo because I was like, this is happening. Oh, no. My hands have turned to grease. I'm shaky. Like, come on. Took this photo of him, and I was like, Wendy, do you want to take your cagoule off? And she's like, no, it's spitting. I'm not going to take my cagoule off for a picture. I'm like, fine. Regret it for the rest of your life. At that point, the day had gone on that so far that I was just like, sure, this is the mistake you've made. I don't need this anymore. Like, took the coat off, gave it to the guy, walked up to the guy, and I was like, mate, I'm going to propose to my girlfriend. Can you take some photos? And he went, my friend, I will take 100. And I was like, yes, this is who I needed. You were sent. And this selection of photos is what happened. So you can see that he was like getting the camera set up, and I was like, are you ready? Is that okay? And then he orientated it, and I was like, oh, Wendy, and I got the ring box out of my hand, and then started to like get ready, and boom, there we go. Got down on one knee and proposed. Now, Wendy delightfully did the hands to face, just kind of like, oh my God. And suddenly, all of these moments that had led up to now, she was like, ah, my God, this is what's been happening. I'm like, yep.
This is where Wendy went, this is stupid, and walked off.
Yeah, split open.
I want some pizza and a Coke.
And a gelato.
Yeah, I want some gelato. I've had enough of this. But no, she didn't.
Pull the gelato out of your pocket.
Yeah. I said, gave her the ring. We kissed. It was lovely. Now, what the thing we didn't realise is, John Madden, that the area that runs through kind of here is the main thoroughfare getting into the Pantheon, and people had stopped walking past, other than that person with the brolly. How dare you?
You asshole.
They'd stopped.
I was like, whatever.
They'd stopped walking round. Because they were waiting for everything to happen. Obviously, I was busy in the moment, and this photo of me sticking my thumbs up is because we had the cuddle afterwards, and then I heard some bloke go, "Well, what did she say?" And I looked across, and there was like 50 or 60 people that had gathered, and there was just some bloke from Yorkshire who was just asking how it went, and I was just like, "Oh yeah." She said yeah, and we got like a proper movie lovely moment where she like everyone clapped, and it was good, and they can see Wendy still in shock, and me just suddenly the weight of the world off my shoulder, and there is the Brazilian guy. This man is an absolute hero. So if you guys want to, on my YouTube I'll put this up, please feel free to share this around. Share the link if you want, and maybe we can find the Brazilian guy and I can
this
buy
man.
him a drink. Indeed. Now, I've got to say as well, there was one thing that happened. Also, this guy he's like, "Oh, do you want an engagement drink?" And I was like, "Oh, is it free?" And he's like, "No." I'm like, no, well, no, then. No. And also, you can note the female staff of the coffee shop who were just looking like, "Fuck you, woman! How dare you get proposed to like this?" And I'm sat here serving tea.
What?
It was great. It was a good moment. But we were walking off from the Pantheon. We said goodbye to the Brazilian man. I gave him a hug and was like, "Mate, thank you so much." I had been hit by so many endorphins. I was like, "I'm free. This hell is over. I'm out of this." And Wendy was suddenly riding the endorphin train for me. And I turned to Wendy and I was like, "Wendy, do you want that gelato now?" And she just suddenly went, "I'm engaged." And I was just like, "Coffee?" So there you go. There you go. You can see that now Wendy is like all full of endorphins and kind of cry red and like suddenly stressed but not stressed. And we're drinking our coffee, and you can see that I'm feeling so much better. Now, the lovely thing that happened here is we were sat talking about everything, and I was going over about why I had so suddenly like started spouting off facts about the Pantheon and all this kind of stuff and everything that happened. And Wendy was just like, "Oh, who did you say built it again?" I was like, "Oh, it's Emperor Hadrian." And obviously, then Wendy was like, "That's a nice name." So we kept hold of that. And that will come in a later slide. But some of you obviously already know. But
oh my god!
What happened?
Then after that, you can see Wendy was a little bit excited, and now
Just a smidge.
you can see. Look at that. There's life in there. There's actual hope. There's joy. I'm not going to die. The smile is genuine but tired. The eyes are victorious and happy. And Wendy has just gone mental. I cursed the sky because literally after I proposed, the sun came out. It was beautiful. No rain.
Like, damn you, God!
Damn you, sky!
It's okay, that's why Hope sent you the Brazilian man. He's like, "It's gonna rain, but here's this lovely man."
Boom! I love how
if you take it away.
Indeed, I love how you like. For some reason, I'm the Pope, but Rob needs to get married. But yeah, so I was very annoyed at the sun. But there you go. There's the ring. It was, and also when Wendy was having a go at me about asking me to get a ring at the jewelry shop, I'd already got this ring because this ring was my grandmother's engagement ring. So it was already in the works. It was already ready, and there it was. And obviously, after that, we got married, and we got married on the 19th of September. So we still got the 9s in there. And also, I doubled up on the fact as well because it's also International Speak Like a Pirate Day. And I was like, I am not going to forget that. That is going to be my wedding anniversary.
I'm assuming it's a different year, Rob. I'm assuming this wasn't like a few weeks after.
Oh God, no! We had a year of planning.
Okay,
Also, I assume
you assume
didn't just spend your entire marriage talking like a pirate.
No. Even though some of my best,
I do take her to be my loyal
wench. Indeed, chicken. That's right.
Chicken.
Why are pirates called pirates?
Why are pirates
they
called
are.
pirates?
Yeah. Oh,
They are.
But there was actually a running joke that my best men were going to distribute eye patches, and Wendy was going to be at her wedding and turn around, and the whole congregation were going to be wearing eye patches. But as I say, we had our wedding. It was the year afterwards. We sorted that out. I say it was probably one of the best days of my life. And the follow-on from the engagement and the marriage, obviously, that name was in the bank. Then, when you got pregnant, and then we got little Hadrian. So that is why he's called Hadrian, and now you all know. And
new potato.
and there it is. So that is the story of how me and Wendy got engaged, and I hope you guys liked it, and I hope you agree it's wholesome.
You did it!
Yay!
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 Well done, Rob.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.